The final expert before the debate round one is Shirley Keria. Ms. Shirley has led interdisciplinary initiatives on sustainable development and climate change supported by agencies such as the United Nations Environmental Programme. Over to you, Ms. Shirley. Ms. Shirley, are you there? Miss, you're on mute, so you would.
Hi. Yeah, finally was able to unmute myself. Can you just confirm if you can hear me?
Yes, Miss, we can hear you.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so hi everyone. And firstly, thanks a lot, NatCom, for this invitation. I'm Shirley Keria, and I'm currently working with a think tank called the Energy and Resources Institute, TERI, which is based in New Delhi. And it's a think tank, but it's also a do tank. I mean, from the point of view of the thinking part, we do research, we do policy research, and we try to influence the government, the policymakers, to bring about a change in policies, in their practices on climate change. And in the do part, our organization is kind of about 1,000 employee organization. And we also implement solutions on the ground in villages when it comes to solutions such as sustainable agriculture, renewable energy, as well as aspects related to climate change mitigation and adaptation. So firstly, I would like to say a little bit about my journey to kind of get to working on the issue of climate change. So, well, in school, we didn't have initiative like the NatCom, so we really didn't know what were the kind of issues out there beyond the textbook understanding of global warming and greenhouse gas effect, etc. And so the important thing that was taught to us was that you have to have a good job, you have to have a secure job, some kind of a security. And so, I went on to do my engineering and my MBA in finance and worked in the corporate sector for quite a while. And then I came across a lecture by, a person who then kind of went on to become my mentor as well. And this was Dr. R.K. Pachauri, and he was talking about climate change. And, of course, it was like very, very, kind of a not very good picture of, how the world was to be because of anthropogenic climate change. And I thought that, no, this, instead of like having a job which allows me to make a lot of money, I must, contribute to kind of raise issues around climate change, as well as see what kind of solutions we can provide in terms of mitigating as well as adapting to climate change. And that's where I kind of it was a turning point in my life, that lecture. And then I decided to become a development professional working on the area of climate change. And that's how, like, eventually I landed up in TERI, an organization where I've been working for the past 12 years. And to the youth, I think youth today really sort of gives everyone hope. I must say that all of you really have a very important role to play. From a policy perspective, there are 4 key aspects to bringing about change when it comes to issues like climate change. The first aspect is, if you can kind of work on raising awareness, on highlighting what the problem is. So really sort of raising the issue, raising the importance of the issue by educating, people and also influencing policymakers. And youth here really have an important role to play because it's really their future which is at stake when it comes to the impacts of climate change. And I would urge that, all of you, please look around you, see the problems around you, and also look into the global issue of climate change, and really sort of raise that awareness, not just, in your own community, but if you can influence policy makers, in your sphere of community as well. The other part of the policy cycle is, if you know that there is a problem, what can you do to solve about it, is to designing solutions. So whether it is related to renewable energy, clean energy, or say, even if suppose you are talking about waste, whether to reduce waste or manage waste. So the next aspect of a policy cycle is to find solutions. The third aspect is to implement. So you may have a solution and you may have a very great idea which may solve an issue, but then you have to work, and you have to work hard, and you have to have that persistence to implement, to kind of persist and not give up, and work on the solution. The fourth aspect, which is about monitoring. So you may implement a particular solution, but then you have to continuously monitor it, improvise your solution, and that is how the entire policy cycle is looked at. And this is a sphere I chose as a profession, and it's so far been very rewarding, and I would just like to give you one example of a kind of policy change which I've been working on. So just take an example. If suppose you are like, maybe you're given pocket money by your parents, and say you're given 100 rupees, and for a week, and you're told to spend that 100 rupees. You may just go ahead and spend it. But if if you were told by your parent that, okay, you have to account and you have to tell me out of that 100 rupees, what did you spend on environmental and green aspects, then you will perhaps, while you spend your money, keep into account that, yes, I have to spend it on something that is environment friendly. Maybe I need to purchase things which are not made of plastic, or perhaps go for an organic product, so on and so forth. And this is something which we've been working on to implement at a much larger scale. So if the governments who have got like thousands of crores of rupees to spend, if you were able to implement that in the government level, then perhaps that thinking from the government would be to spend money to implement initiatives which are more environment friendly. The other aspect where I think youth have a very, very important role to play is as consumers, and not just consumers as in themselves, but consumers around them, other youth, other grown-ups, and their communities in general, and which can have a scale effect. So you really can harness the power of like being a consumer. So see if you can kind of like consume greener products. So that is another area where I think like youth can play a very important role. And as a part of POP movement, and if you can get this sort of an opportunity to work on various aspects of a policy cycle which I mentioned, whether it is about raising an issue, elevating an issue, whether it's about designing solutions, implementing solutions, or even monitoring existing initiatives to strengthen solutions. So, again, organizations, and just like, Professor Dasher in his previous presentation, is once you know what issue you want to work with, attach yourself with an organization. It could be POP movement, it could be NatCom, there could be other organizations around you, and work and contribute towards that cause. but also at the same time, do keep in mind one question, like what change do I want to see in this world? And that will help you give a sense of a direction, whether you want to see a change in the policy level, or do you want to increase awareness? Do you want to work towards a solution? You can do that, even if you go and take up various professions, whether it is media, whether it is, you may become an engineer and you may work towards technological solutions. You may go towards business and you may work towards a green business solution, or coming up with greener products, or products wherein like the waste aspect is less. So but I think the important thing for youth to keep in mind is one question: what change do you want to see? And if you have the answer to that question, work towards that. Whatever, when you grow up, you may decide to take different professions. And of course, as also Prachi highlighted before, that one has to see this as opportunity. So there are many opportunities even in the environmental sector, including related to climate change. But I would just like to again re-emphasize one question, and I would like to stop here, is do keep in mind what change do you want to see in the world. Yeah, so I would like to stop at that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Shaili. That was really lovely insight.